All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Say What I Mean. And this is the first video on my channel. Now, this channel is just going to be about stuff I like, which is mainly politics and hip hop. So, therefore, that's going to be the focus. Now, before I even get started in this video today, I just want to say a big rest in peace to Tech Nine. He's a Philadelphia battle rap legend. And when I heard he died today, it kind of just hurt my heart. It's funny how you can feel for somebody you don't know that died. And I guess the only thing you could be thankful for is that he died in his sleep and seemed to be of natural causes. But, my condolences to his family and just the whole battle rap community, because I think everybody's in mourning that a part of the culture. And it was just a rough blow for everybody, man. And he wasn't that old, and it just reminds you that, we can't take one day for granted, because when it's your time, because I don't think anybody could have predicted this. He's young. He seemed to be in decent shape, at least. And I would have never thought that I would woke up today to that news. So once again, rest in peace to Tech Nine. Now, what I want to do in this channel, especially for the 2020 election, is break down issues and where the candidates stand on these specific policy issues. Because it seemed like what most people is doing, and you see this on YouTube, you see this on MSNBC, CNN, you see it just everywhere. People's not focusing on the policy. They focusing mainly on the horse race type of stuff. Stuff that's not as important. They focusing on personality. What I want to do is I want to focus specifically on policy, and how does it affect the general public? This in the past has been, what they saying now, and in my opinion, what can we expect? Can we expect the particular candidate to follow through on their promises? So that's what I want to do with this election. And also, I want to constantly, every video when I talk about politics, I'm going to make sure I pound home the point that local elections is just as important as the presidential race. These affect your daily activities. Affect what you do day to day. Local policy is very important. Who your sheriff is, if you care about criminal justice reform, who your DA is, who your judges. We need to start thinking more about that type of stuff. And I'm going to do that like every video, reminding people, just don't focus only on the presidential election, even though it's important. We need to focus on local issues as well. So what I want to do is I'm going to rank each presidential candidate from worst to first in different videos on different issues. So I'm going to do this for healthcare. I'm going to do this for criminal justice reform. I'm going to do this for environmental issues, for Wall Street regulations. So I'm just going to do this for a bunch of different important policy issues to see what their stances was. And in my opinion, all based on me, y'all free to disagree. And, I'm interested to see where y'all agree with me and where y'all disagree with me. And I'm going to rank them from worst to first. And the first issue I want to do this with is reparations. But before I even get into that, I just want to break down the bill in the House, which is HR 40, before I start doing the reparations videos and where the candidates stand on reparations at this time and their past views on reparations. Because you're hearing a lot of different things about reparations right now. And it's very interesting to me to see where this whole debate is going, because I've been a long time supporter of reparations. I think it's long overdue. And for me, it's not just about slavery. It's about Jim Crow. It's about the war on drugs, which disproportionately affected the African-American community, about institutionalized racism. All that mixed into one, for me, is a more than valid case for reparations. But before I even get into that, I just want to let people know, some people know, some people don't. There actually is a bill in Congress called HR 40 that commissioned a study of reparations. Now, John Connors used to introduce this bill every year when he was in Congress. Now, Sheila Jackson took up that mantle and she introduced it. And matter of fact, like I think last month she introduced it. It had 30 co-sponsors on it. Tulsi Gabbard, who's a presidential candidate, is one of the co-sponsors. Elizabeth Warren, in her CNN town hall, says she support the bill. So a lot of times what happened in the media, and even politicians do this sometimes, they just throw out a bill without fully stating what it is. So I just got this directly from congress.gov, and I suggest people do this. And I'm going to leave the link in the description so y'all can check it out yourself, because a lot of people just thought these policies and nobody know what they are, and nobody really do research to state, okay, what does this mean? So what is HR 40 and what is meant to address? Well, it says right on congress.org, it says it is to address the fundamental injustice, cruelty, brutality, and inhumanity of slavery in the United States and the 13 American colonies between 1619 and 1865, and to establish a commission to study and consider a national apology and proposal for reparations for the institution of slavery, its subsequent de jure and de facto racial and economic discrimination against African Americans, and the impact of these forces on living African Americans, to make recommendations to the Congress on appropriate remedies and for other purposes. So basically, it commissioned a study to see what is the best way to institute reparations. And I know for some people that's not going to be good enough, but for me, that's a great start. And I actually do think it need to be more studies on how we would actually do reparations, because even amongst reparation supporters, it's not necessarily, everybody don't necessarily disagree. I mean, not everybody necessarily agree with how to institute reparations. I know a lot of people saying that they just want to check, and that's how we need to do it. And some people, if it's not a cash payment, is not going to be happy. Other people think it might be more effective for investments in the community. But what do that mean? I'm actually for investments in the community, but it have to be specific and depends on what you're talking about. And I'm not against a check either, but if you're talking about just every Black person get $3,000, no, I wouldn't be for that. It all depends on the proposal and the details in the proposal. But for example, let's just say Elizabeth Warren already got a bill in Congress meant to address redlining. Let's just say for red line neighborhoods, they have first-time homebuyer grants for like $10,000 or whatever. But along with that, they have grants for Black people that already own their home and was affected by redlining, to remodel their homes to up their property value too, or certain tax exempt statuses. There's a whole bunch of different ways that can be done. And this is why the study is needed. So in my opinion, at minimum, it's a real easy question to answer. At minimum, they can say that they support HR 40. But a lot of these presidential candidates haven't even been doing that. In my opinion, that's just the bare minimum. Support HR 40. That's simple. Instead of just explaining, what do you mean by reparations, blah, blah, blah. Just say you support HR 40, unless you just don't think that Black people should get any type of reparations at all, which is a whole different story, which I can get into later. I'm not going to get into that now, because I debate with people all the time why African Americans should get reparations, so That's a whole different story though, but it's a good start for my first video. And I'll be dropping more videos soon. And I'm going to break down each presidential candidate views on reparations. I have that to look forward to coming up. Peace, y'all.